Well, it's October 31st, and you know what that means. Happy Halloween. So, what better day? And by the way, it's dark and dreary, and my two black cats have been fighting. I made another video, and they wouldn't stop fighting in it. So, if they come back and start again, I'm not going to redo it. It's just par for the course today. Anyway, there's no better day to discuss something really scary. How do you know that you have an attachment or you are attached to something in the ego? I know you're tired of hearing about how identified you are, how attached you are. I get it. Because I thought the same thing when my first teacher, all she said to me, a broken record, constantly, for every question I had, for everything that was happening, she'd say, you're still identified with the ego. You're attached to this. You're attached to your emotions. You're identified with your emotions, blah, 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 constantly. And I really got kind of put out with her answers because I thought to myself, I get what you're saying. I know what you mean. I understand what this means, attachment. I get it. Okay, I'm identified with you. I get it. And underneath this intellectual understanding, which remember comes from the ego, was sort of saying at the same time, yeah, I don't have that many attachments. Until life proved otherwise. Okay, so what I'm going to do in this video and some more videos is share some of my personal realization experiences and the things that I learned. So tell you little stories. I'm going to put this on pause for a second. Just like animals, they want in at the most inopportune time. Okay, so I'm going to share this experience about how I realized I was attached. So many years ago, when I first started this ego deconstruction process, my teacher at the time advised me to go take this week-long Enneagram course. Now, the Enneagram personality system is a wonderful, wonderful tool to start off with when you're a black cat. Let's hope we don't have the other one come in for an argument. Anyway, the Enneagram is a great tool. It's a personality typing system. It's based on ancient wisdom by Gurdjieff. So it's really deeply rooted in spiritual knowledge. Anyway, she wanted me to go take this course on how to teach the Enneagram so that I could understand what attachments and ego identifications mean. It's so funny. I get to this course, and of course, the whole idea of going to these types of courses is to remove yourself from identifying with the tool itself or the personality type. And all I saw there were a bunch of people that were totally identified with their types. You know, walking around, oh, I'm a type 1. What are you? Blah, blah. I'm a type 3. What are you? I'm a type 5. Anyway, and of course, I wasn't. So I did all the tests that I took didn't identify one type that I was. So I had to choose a type, and I chose type 5 because I really, when I read it, it felt like home, and I cried. Little did I know that I was creating a really deep attachment to this type 5 personality. So this is how I learned. This experience that happened was one of the most surreal experiences of my life. And I haven't had many people to tell it to, so I'm going to share it with you, and maybe you'll enjoy it. Okay, so we're all in the cafeteria having lunch. And remember, everyone's like, oh, what type are you? Blah, blah, blah. And the guy next to me, who doesn't know me from Adam, maybe we've known each other for 3 days now, says to me, I say I'm type 5. And he says to me something to the effect of, or what I heard was, "Oh, I don't see you as a type 5. You are not, I don't know, creative enough or intelligent enough." Something that I took as a huge, like, what? And so many things happened instantaneously. And in retrospect, I've just now understood the full essence that was happening. At the moment he said that, I could feel in myself this, like, tears wanting to come up. I was devastated. The ego was devastated, and I can feel it. And I was so hurt and assaulted. And at the same time, what was happening, what I know now is that Kundalini was rising. Divine Mother was showing me something. This intense heat, not hot flash, but this intense burning heat started rising up in me. It sounded like a freight train or waterfall. And I started shaking internally. It was the craziest thing. But what I know now that was happening was Kundalini was rising. Divine intervention to show me the attachment to ego. And all of my awareness came into consciousness so that I was witnessing this personality crumble under the fact that this person didn't agree with my assessment of myself. And at that very moment, I could see not only my attachment to this personality type, but to the entire structure. It was devastating. So here I am, like, burning heat, starting to cry. I'm hearing all this stuff. And here's what I also heard. I kid you not, I'm not making this up. I heard, like, glass. It was like my aura was made of glass, this whole ego structure, and I heard cracks of it. So anyway, I had to get up, and I hauled ass out of the cafeteria, and I'm running back to my hotel room. And as I'm running, I could hear shards of glass dropping to the ground. Crash, crash. Run into the hotel, and I just immediately jump in the shower, and I'm just bawling because I could see, still from the point of consciousness, viewing how attached itself was to the entire ego structure. It was just devastating to me. I mean, it was quite a realization. But it also showed me that at that very moment, consciousness, my attention was purely in a state of awareness. When awareness sees something, once you become aware of something, you can begin the deconstruction process. So that whole shards of glass and the cracking of the glass ceiling, whatever you want to call it, I started at that moment deconstruction of the ego process. It started breaking down. And I have a dear friend who's probably watching this video right now, and I have a sneaky feeling this is exactly what happened to you. Divine intervention, you were in a full state of awareness. You could see the entire ego structure, and you've created separation. Consciousness became aware that it was attached, and you've created a space. Now remember the statement? I can't remember if I said it earlier in this video. Do not mistake, first of all, understanding for realization, and a realization for liberation. So in the beginning, we think we know it all because we understand it. The intellect, the ego mind, will lead you to believe understanding means you've realized it. A realization is a full body experience. Your cells now are imprinted with that experience. Okay? It's a full body experience. It's a realization. But you can't take realization for liberation from the issue or from the ego structure as well, because we have this astral body, our little glass castle, and for years, our entire life, we've been creating magnetic pockets of information, emotions attached to thoughts, and they're little pockets of stuff out there. And they've created very deep magnetic grooves. So yes, when consciousness saw this attachment to ego or that personality type, it created a momentary relaxation in the magnetic pull. So you get a couple of days of bliss, but then what happens is that ego comes right back, and it wants to keep that magnetic energy still is going strong. So you'll have a couple of days of bliss after a realization, and then all of a sudden the ego or that pattern comes right back, and it will continue to come back. Please don't think you've lost anything. A realization, when it's full body like that, is cellular. Your cells have understood this, and physiological changes are taking place. You have not lost it. The ego now will come back, and you've just got to give it time. It will come back at least 7 more times. There's a law of 7, which I may talk about another time. Law of 7, that it takes at least 7 times for a full transformation to occur. So just keep becoming aware. Okay? Don't think you're failing, that you've gone back. You haven't. It just takes time. Now, let's go back to attachments and demonic element type things, because remember, it's Halloween. These packets of stored information, the worst that, in the I Ching, they talk about these packets of information stored in our astral bodies. They call them imps, dragons, and demonic elements. And it's because, depending on the level, the frequency of the energy that's in that groove, anger, sadness, whatever, they create pockets of energy information that are very low vibrational, and they feel like they're attacking you. So if you have a perceived failure and you hear this voice that says, oh, why don't you just kill yourself or something? I mean, it can get really horrible. I have experienced this myself when I'm feeling, in the past, not now. In the past, excuse me, when I thought I was just failing at everything, I heard this voice come up. Why don't you just kill yourself? And saying some of the most horrendous things. Now, whether that was a pocket of my own information, my own self-devaluation, or I drew in an energy being that said those things, I still created it. So yes, we can have demonic, imp-like, and dragon-type energies that we create or attract to us, but we are the creators of it. And the I Ching talks about that all of these things are agreed to. So even if you're being attacked or feel like you're under attack, you have agreed to this prior to incarnating in order for you to work through these things. Okay, so sort of going off topic. So how do you know you have an attachment? Well, when something happens, someone disagrees with you, and there's a crumbling inside of you, or you have a reaction. So, ladies, when you ask your friend, Does my ass look fat? Do I look fat? And you can see in their face, or they flat out say, yeah, no, yes, you've gained weight. And you crumble, breaks your heart, and that's all you can think about for the next couple of days. That's an attachment. Or you're doing something and somebody comes along and tries to tell you how to do it, and you go, what do you think, I'm stupid? I know that's an attachment. That's how you recognize an attachment. And until you see it for yourself, become aware of it, you don't really get it. But once you get it, you'll get it, and then you have created separation. Okay. Have we understood what attachments are? I think we have, and I think I'm done. Happy Halloween, everyone, and I'm hoping to get a couple more videos out today. See you later. Bye.